just returned from Ashland, Oregon, Ashland Electric Bikes, to pick up our long-awaited Nireeka Electric Bikes. They didn't come assembled like this. They came in a box, but I couldn't help myself. I assembled the first one. Very easy to assemble, and I'm pleased with the quality so far. The first thing we want to do is open up the box and pull the parts out. It's quite well packaged. They've got some good corrugated cardboard here, and they've zip tied everything together to save it during shipping. I'm just going to have to cut these zip ties and pull them out. Stack them out on the floor and see what we've got. Okay, now once we've got everything pulled out of the box, it was really quite packaged quite well. The main frame and the rear wheel and the pedal, crank assembly, all that is already assembled as it comes in. The handlebar is already wired. Comfort seat. There's the front wheel tire assembly and hub. Pedals, the controller, a charger. This is the battery, and the keys. The adjustable handlebar mount is very straightforward as well. You just loosen this with a metric Allen wrench, and you can adjust this upwards. Then I adjust it straight upwards for an easier mount. That's just tightening that. And then you can set this in place and put the bracket back in place. To mount the front wheel assembly, they have some protective inserts here for the axle. And you have to take the axle and put it through here. They also ship it with this little spacer, just kind of a protector that goes into the forks. In order to install the front wheel, especially this disc brake, you have to remove this little shipping spacer, so the disc will slide in to the caliper between the shoes. With just a little bit of finagling, I was able to get everything together. One thing about these springs here on the little axle, they go with the large side out facing the nut. The seat post, I got the aluminum one. It does have measurements here, little markings so you can repeat the height for different riders, or at least get an adjustment for your own. It goes in here in a typical fashion. A cam lever, clamp it in place. The pedals are pretty standard as well, although there is a right and left hand thread. So if it doesn't go in the first way, then try the other one. This is a clockwise. Looks like the right side of the crankset is clockwise. I think this is probably standard. And the left side is counterclockwise thread. And a 15mm open-end wrench to tighten them in place. I chose this higher-end full-color display Bafang readout, and it just snaps. Looks like the best place is right over the yoke here. And it snaps in place pretty well, and then you just install the screws that come with it. This is secured in place right here, straight up to the bottom. Mounting the control for that, pretty much the same thing. It's a flexible plastic mount, and I twisted the cable around the handlebars a couple times to get everything fairly tight. That works pretty well. And then using the same stainless steel socket head cap screw, 3mm. Hooking up the cable is very straightforward. This just comes down here. You can see there's a indicator arrow and another indicator arrow. You just push these together. The last stop is installing the battery. Now I got the larger battery on here, and it came pre-charged. Press that to check it. No, it's not completely charged, 75%, but you can charge it on the bike. When it's locked in place, you just pull this tab. Easier said than done. But that's where the charger lead goes into. Mount this in here. These go to the back. It's kind of a tight fit with the forks, the front forks. And now it's locked in place. And there we are, all assembled. And seriously, I mean, it was more than a few minutes because I was filming, but these two bikes were more easily assembled than I really ever imagined. I think we're going to be pretty pleased. I haven't found any issues with them so far. We'll follow up on the riding experience in a bit. See the man who won't stay for you, giving all the beats of life.